Hey everybody, Nick here with NVCSS CalFresh Healthy Living. Thank you for joining me on a 15-minute physical activity full body stretch routine. Before we get started, you are going to need one tool, and that's going to be either a belt or some type of a band, maybe an exercise band if you have one. So go ahead and pause the video and then come right back to hit play. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start at the neck and work our way down the body. So first off, we're going to focus on the back of the neck here. Many of us stay in a downward neck position, whether we're typing on a computer, driving a vehicle, looking down at our children on mobile devices, whatever it may be. These muscles stay in a stretched position for a really long time. So we're going to close the mouth and keep our vision towards the ceiling for our first exercise, and we'll hold this for 30 seconds. After a few seconds, if you want to rock side to side, feel free to do so. Always remembering to listen to your neck. Be very gentle with the neck. Don't make it do anything it doesn't want to do. Good. Next, we're going to work the sides of the neck. So I'm going to push one hand down to the ground and use my other arm to grab the top of my head and pull that ear down to the shoulder. It's going to be stretching out this portion of my neck here. And again, after just a few seconds, if you want to rotate forward and backward, feel free to take the hand that's on top of your head and just let it relax. A few more seconds. We'll switch sides. Good. Go ahead and switch to the opposite side. Hand down to the ground, pull the ear to the shoulder. Rock back and forth if you'd like. Very good. Next, we're going to move on to the shoulders. With the shoulders, many of us, again, often driving, cell phones, whatever it is that keeps our forwards in a forwardly rotated position. It makes it so that it keeps very tight in that shoulder area right next to the pectoralis. So we want to stretch that portion out a little bit. So this is where I'm going to grab my belt or my band. I'm going to put one of my hands on each end of the band, and then I'm going to keep my arms locked so my elbow stays locked, and I'm going to come all the way up and start to go behind my body until I can't stretch anymore. Give you a side view as well. So here I can able to go all the way forward and backward, but if you get up to here and that's enough stretching for you, go ahead and stop there and go back down. If you are able to come all the way back, sometimes I like to pause back here and just hold it and work those back portions to really stretch out the chest. Very good. From here, we are going to move on to the hip flexors. With the hip flexors, we're going to be targeting just this front portion right next to the hip here. So when we're in a seated position for prolonged periods of time, this stays in a very tight position, whether we're sitting, driving cars, behind a desk, at school, whatever it might be. These hip flexors stay in a very tight position for a really long time. So to stretch that out, I'm going to have you put one leg forward, one leg back. You're going to come down to one knee, and then you're going to let the groin drop into the ground, and you feel free to use your arms to balance yourself. Remembering to breathe deeply. Push that groin as far as you can. As it loosens up, if you can get more of a stretch, keep pushing it. A few more seconds, we'll switch to the other side. Good. Switch legs. Bring that groin down into the ground again. And breathe. Just a little bit longer. Get into our next exercise. Very good. From here, we're going to stretch the abdominals. So keeping my hand on the ground, I'm going to let my pelvis just drop down to the ground. So everything in my lower trunk region, it's all relaxed, all just weight dropping down to the ground. And in the front of my tummy, it feels really stretched out. Free to turn your hands around on this one if you need to, or out to the sides. So all of that weight fall down. Stretch out those abdominals. A few more seconds. Good. From here, we're going to come into child's pose. So with my hands flat on the ground, I'm going to come and sit on the back of my heels there. I'm also going to try to put my chest on top of my knees. And then with my hands, I'm going to walk my body forward as far forward as I can. Always keeping that connection with my butt to my heels and my chest to my knees. From here, we'll work the sides. So after this, I will walk my body over to the side, and we'll do that on each side. Good. So first I'm going to start walking towards the camera here. So you're just going to keep that butt towards the heels, keep that chest on the knees, but let those arms rotate and pull over to the side. Big, deep breaths. Then walk back to the center. Now walk to the opposite side. Just a few more seconds. Good. And back to the center. From here, we're going to work the hamstrings next. So I'm going to come onto my back. I'm going to grab my belt or band device. One leg is going to stay flat on the ground. The other I'm going to put about midway up on my foot. Come onto my back. And I'm keeping the knee locked so it's in a fixed straight position. I'm going to pull the leg back as far as I can. You're going to be feeling that stretch, right behind the kneecap, all the way down the back of the leg into the buttocks there. Pull on that hamstring. You want to pull as far back as you can without sacrificing that knee bend. Try not to let that knee bend. Very good. Just a few seconds and we'll switch sides. Very good. So put the belt on the other foot and go ahead and go back into the other hamstring stretch. Sometimes for me it helps to hold the belt with one hand so I can kind of focus on that knee staying straight at the same time. Make sure it's locked straight. And breathe. Good. From here, we're going to do the quadriceps. So now that I'm already in this seated position, I'm going to let one leg come back to the side of me. And now I'm going to lean back into the stretch for the quadricep. You only want to come back as far as you can until your knee wants to lift, or if you just feel too tight of a stretch in the quad. So for me, I can go almost all the way down, and my knee wants to elevate. So I'll stop about right here. We'll hold that. And then we'll switch to the other side. Very good. After staying right there for a minute, now I feel like I can go all the way back. Keep that knee down. Good. And walk yourself up. Extend your leg back out. Pull your other leg back. And go into that other leg stretch. This side's a little bit more flexible for me. It's able to go all the way back down in the first stretch. Very good. From here, we are going to come into the butterfly. So first I'm going to put my heels together, put my hands on my toes, and I'm going to pull the heels all the way back to the groin as far as I can. Then using my elbows, I'm going to push them down into the ground. You can continue pulling backwards and pushing down into the ground. Very good. Just a few exercises left after this. Good. Now that the legs extend all the way out, I'm now going to walk my hands down the center here, stretching forward. And this one I like to kind of rock side to side. Any point in time it feels like it's loosened up, I'll try to walk my hands a little bit more forward. Really feel that pull in the hamstrings here. Good. Now we're going to do the back sides. So I'm going to start with one arm all the way up in the air. I'm going to twist my body and have this arm touch the opposite leg over here. Reaching for that toe. Never been able to fully touch it. You should be getting a really good stretch on the back side of your body all the way down. Also, the hamstring on the leg that I'm leaning over towards, it's also getting a really good stretch reaching that direction. A few more seconds and we'll switch to the opposite side. Good. Other your arm straight up in the air. Rotate the torso slightly, and then let your arm reach towards your toes. And breathe. Very good. From here, we're going to finish off with 3 deep breaths. So I'm just going to come onto my knees, get in a relaxed position. As deep as you can, we'll pause just for a second and then we'll release. So breathe in. There's one. Big deep breath. Pause. And let it go. Last one. Pause. And relax. Thank you for joining me today. Wherever you are, I hope you have a beautiful day.